What if I told you that Soviet city planners figured out solutions to urban problems half a century ago? Problems that American cities are still grappling with today. And what if those grey concrete apartment blocks you've seen in pictures actually nurtured tight-knit communities where kids enjoyed more freedom than many do now? These homes were accessible to nearly everyone, thanks to the sheer scale of construction. Imagine a life with no traffic jams, your 7-year-old safely walking to school alone, and neighborhoods where isolation wasn't the norm. Sounds like some futuristic dream, right? But it already existed behind the Iron Curtain. Today, we'll explore how. On one side, a typical American suburb, spread out homes and a car required for even basic errands. On the other, a Soviet microdistrict. Where schools, shops and clinics were all within a 15-minute walk. One layout encourages isolation and dependency on private space. The other fosters interaction through shared areas. While the US prioritized privacy, Soviet planners focused on connection, intentionally building neighborhoods to promote social bonds. In today's disconnected society, maybe it's time to revisit this approach. After World War II, the USSR faced a housing emergency. Millions lived in barracks, communal flats, or workers' dorms. Some elite buildings, like Stalin-era neoclassicals, offered spacious rooms and ornate designs. But they were built for top officials and experts. That changed in 1955 when Khrushchev called for a shift to mass housing. He openly criticized decorative excesses, pushing for practical, functional architecture instead. Enter the Microdistrict, a self-contained urban zone with 10,000 to 12,000 residents where every daily need could be met on foot. The results were impressive. In Moscow's Cheryamushki, a model district, residents saved up to 45 minutes a day on errands. This vision began with the Khrushchevka, simple 5-story apartment blocks with compact layouts. They were revolutionary for the time. A full building could be finished in just 12 days, while American homes took months. By 1971, builders managed to assemble an entire 5-story building in just 57 hours. Mass production was key. Building parts, from stairs to windows, were standardized and pre-made in factories. Like car production lines, homes were assembled piece by piece, cutting both time and cost. These buildings were up to 10 times cheaper than their ornate predecessors. Later models, like the Brezhnevka, came with larger kitchens and higher ceilings. In the 1980s, facades improved too, with bay windows and multi-level designs. But the core idea remained: fast, efficient construction using modular parts. What really set Soviet city planning apart was its attention to daily life. Every apartment had to get at least a few hours of natural light. Schools were placed within 500 meters, kindergartens within 300, and clinics within 1 kilometer. Children's walking routes were designed to avoid crossing busy roads. In neighborhoods like Lakhta and New Cheryamushki, even young kids, as young as 7, walked to school safely on their own. Compare that to the car-dependent layouts of many American suburbs today. Of course, there were unintended downsides. Popular trees were planted en masse for instant greenery, but some, like poplars, released huge amounts of fluffy pollen in summer. Kids played in it like snow, but janitors, allergy sufferers, and firefighters weren't amused. These neighborhoods weren't just places to live, they were social ecosystems. While Western cities emphasized individual space, Soviet design promoted community. Courtyards were hubs of daily life, with kids playing, elders chatting, and neighbors watching over each other. Crucially, people from all walks of life lived side by side: engineers, teachers, soldiers, factory workers. This diversity helped prevent the kind of economic segregation seen in many modern cities. E tizenkilenc svenes evek ben vegzet tanulmani kimutatta, hogi atypicus microregio lakoi, 30-40 shomsedot, ismertek nevsherint. Today, most city dwellers know maybe two. Still, not everything was ideal. The old Soviet joke said, "Built to last centuries but needs fixing every year." Winters brought cold drafts, springs brought leaky ceilings. Apartments were small, around 45 square meters for a family of 3, so space was always tight. Parents had to wait for kids to sleep to talk privately. Homework was done in noisy kitchens. Thin walls meant everyone heard everything. Arguments, crying babies, loud TVs, nothing stayed private. Wall carpets weren't just for decoration, they helped muffle the noise. As car ownership grew, courtyards once meant for relaxation turned into parking lots. Over time, many districts declined. Infrastructure aged, public areas were abandoned, and facilities like kindergartens were sold off or converted into office spaces. Yet, it's unfair to judge these homes by today's standards. These micro-districts were never meant to be luxury. They were a fast, affordable answer to a massive crisis. Most residents were upgrading from barracks, shared flats, or even dugouts. Compared to that, these prefab homes felt like paradise. What's remarkable is that even under economic stress, Soviet planners didn't ignore the bigger picture. They built entire living environments, not just buildings. With their walkability, safety, and social spaces, these neighborhoods encouraged a sense of belonging. Today, cities like Moscow, Tallinn, and Riga are experimenting with modern upgrades to these districts, keeping the core ideas while improving quality and sustainability. In a world where people waste 54 hours a year in traffic and kids rarely play outside without supervision, maybe it's time to rethink what those old concrete blocks were really about. Not to replicate them exactly, but to borrow the best parts: accessibility, community, connection, and combine them with modern comfort and respect for privacy. The future of urban living might not lie in pure American individualism or Soviet collectivism, but somewhere in between.